There we go. There we go. Hello, pondering paranormal people. Here's our pendulum video, part 2, the practical. I'll try and not be so wordy because I've explained in the first video what it's sort of all about and what you need to do. So the steps aren't really that difficult. So I've got my my makeshift little board here. I've got the alphabet, I've got numbers, I don't know, not at this time, goodbye. So let's go through. I've got my paper and my pen. I want to, I'll leave it this way so you can sort of see it. I know this isn't the best way to show everything. So we've got a brand new pendulum, or it could be whatever you decide to use that we discussed earlier. This one never got to go to a class, so he's going to a class now. There we go. A quartz pendulum, you know, not a long, I prefer longer chains, but you know, that's nothing. So number one, we want to, I know, it's like everything's all moved around. Number one, we want to invite our angels, guides, friends, and elementals for their help, guidance, and protection in this session. So you have to ask them out loud. You have to. I mean, you can't think at them, but in this physical world, you really need to ask out loud for their help, or they can't. It's pretty simple. Sort of like Star Trek, you know, where they're not supposed to get involved unless directly asked. Of course, if it's some sort of a deadly situation, they do get involved. But for the most part, you have to physically ask them out loud. So you can say, I ask my angels, guides, friends, and elementals for their help, guidance, and protection during this dowsing session. And you may want to add with whoever it is that you wish to talk to. You don't want to add too many words, because too many words can actually mess up what you're trying to do. So you see, you've got your angels, your guides, your friends, and elementals, which covers everything from relatives to spirit guides to like everything, right? So angels, guides, friends, and elementals. We've got that. We want to draw down the light, and we want to clear this. So clearing and drawing down the light for your first time of this can actually be done together at the same time. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine the central sun, which is the center of the universe, which is where the Big Bang started, which is where once the Big Bang happened, the entire universe expanded out from that. People refer to it as the central sun, so if you hear someone talking about it, that's what they're talking about. Most people need to close their eyes when doing this, but you picture that in the center of the universe. You breathe, using your breath gives you focus. It's the only reason why you're using your breath. So you're going to breathe in that energy down through space and time and all of those things and into the crown chakra of your head, and you're going to bring it straight down to heart. So you bring one breath in. Now this energy is too high to use just as is. You need to ground it to Earth's metaphysical energies. So you're going to breathe out and push it down into the ground, out through the bottoms of your feet, sort of like tree roots, into the ground. And what you're doing is you're gearing that incredibly high energy to Earth's energy and your physical body's energy. If you use this energy straight, you can get sick. You should also have a glass of water or a bottle of water nearby, because when you're doing work like this, it has an effect on your body, so you probably should have water somewhere, which I hadn't mentioned earlier. So you breathe in, gather in heart, push down to earth. Breathe back into heart. Push back to the center. You do that at least 3 times. So you're bringing. And as you do this, you should feel it get stronger. And then you push that last third one up. Now you're going to double draw. Double draw means you're going to be bringing energy from the earth, from the bottoms of your feet to heart, and from the center of the universe, God's energy, to heart at the same time. And you're mixing those 2 energies together, creating a stronger energy. I'm doing this faster than you probably will. I've done this thousands of times. But take your time. You will feel it getting stronger. Sometimes you need to do it more than 3 times. That's fine. You do it until it feels strong. Now that you've got that gathered energy in your heart, you've done single, down, down, back, and up. You're doing double draw, double draw, double draw. Now to make your sacred space, you are going to have it come out of your heart. Like when you breathe in and your heart's full, you're going to breathe out and it's going to create a bubble, like Glinda's bubble from the Wizard of Oz. And if you have to physically blow, that's fine. Every breath gets bigger and bigger until the room is covered. You can continue. You can do the whole house. You can do wherever you need. If it's just one room, that's fine. Where you are, you do that. You've got that. You've got your bubble. You're in a protected space. Now, you're going to take your pendulum that you've never used before, and sometimes if you've used it for something else, you don't want the energy from your last session still in here. So you should clear it every time you use it. So you've got your energy going. You can hold it this way. And you're going to breathe out, sending it down through both of your arms, below and above it, to create a bubble around. Then you're going to draw the energy back in. Send it back to your hands. Back to heart. So you're creating this energy that is going this way, and it's also going through your arms and going this way. Then you're going to say, now you could have this on the table. If you don't want to hold it that way, you can have your hands over top and do it this way. I always do it this way. And then you say, I clear you with the highest light of the One to be used for dowsing purposes, harming none, if it is the will of the One. Now I'm taking a breath and I'm sending that with my words. So the sacred energy, the clearing energy is in my words. So with that breath, I'm sending that to the stone as well, which is like a double clearing. So again, you say, I clear you with the highest light of the One to be used for dowsing purposes, harming none, if it is the will of the One, so mote it be. And then you say, blessed be. I use blessed be, but you could use amen. You could use make it so. Those 3 endings are fine. So now you've got this cleared. Now, there is a whole thing that you can go through to actually program this. But now that you've got it cleared, you can simply ask, can you show me what you will do for a yes answer? Can you show me what a no answer will look like? Can you show me what an I don't know type of answer will be, or an answer that I can't have? And that's sometimes, you know, it's straight back and forth is a yes and circles are no. Like for my master teacher, hers is exactly opposite to mine. I didn't program it to go one way or the other. I just asked it what was a yes, what was a no, and what was a maybe or I don't know an answer. When you're using the board, it is always good to, when you're asking it a question, you can, again, say, can you show me, if you needed to show me what the letter A looked like, how would you do that? And it is showing me an A with a circle around it. So for you, it might go back and forth. That's because you're still programming it, but you're not specifically saying, I want you to do this, because as soon as you put that kind of energy in there, you're tainting the energy, like you're making it. It is better to allow the pendulum to show you how it wants to work with you, instead of demanding you like, I want you to do it like this. It's a better working relationship, which is what you want. So you've got your thing here. You're in sacred space. You know what yes and no looks like. You're ready to go. And depending on what you want to ask it, you need to know beforehand, do you want just yes and no answers, which is easy, then you won't need a board. But I mean, it's really easy to make. Let's see. Is there anyone here who would like to talk with me? It's definitely saying yes. I hope you can see that. So we'll go to the board. Okay, can you tell me your name? I have a board here with letters. Can you circle the letters of your name for me? Yes. Okay, so I've got my paper, which we had talked about beforehand. Hopefully you're a little ambidextrous and you can use both hands. Okay, what is... Oh, first, see, I always forget. Can you show me how many numbers, how many letters, the number of letters in your name? I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you show me how many letters are in your name? And very slowly move over each number. No, okay. I am not getting an answer for that. Okay, can you, maybe I didn't say it clearly enough. Does your name have more than 2 letters in it? Does your name have more than 2 letters? Yes. Does your name have 3 letters? No. Does your name have 4 letters? Does your name have 5 letters? I can't talk now. Now, when you get an answer, am I correct in understanding that you have 5 letters in your name? This is really strong. I mean, you can feel the pull. It's hard to explain unless you've experienced it. So 5 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The easiest way, just make 5 little blanks. Okay. What is the first letter in your name? Is it A, B, C, D, E? Okay. Am I correct in understanding the first letter of your name is E? Okay. E, write it down. Can you show me the second letter of your name? Is it A? Is it B? Now, I can do this without the board, actually. Is there a C? Is it D? It can't be E again. Is it F? Is it G? Is it H? Is it I? Is it J? Is it K? Is it L? Is it M? Is it N? Is it O? Is it P? Is it Q? Oh, now that's really weird. Is it R? Is it S? Is it T? Is it U? Okay, have I gone past the letter in your name? The second letter? Okay. We're having a bit of a difficult time, and you know what? That happens all the time. Okay, let's go back to the board. Maybe it just didn't like the way I was doing that. Is the second letter in your name A? Oh. Okay, so A. E-A. Okay, can you show me the third letter in your name? Now, instead of asking, I'm just going to go over it quietly. C, D, well, E, no, F, G, H, I. See, I may have gone too fast for it to have reacted. J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. There's a wiggle there. U, V, W, X. Okay. Did I miss the third letter of your name? No. That's an odd answer. Do you want me to actually know what your name is? No. Okay. So, and that's a perfect example of what can happen. So, okay, maybe they don't want to share what their name is. That's fine. The first couple of times you use it, it's going to be difficult. Okay. So, let's ask you a question. Are you a male energy? Are you a female energy? Are you an all-encompassing energy? See, the problem with that question is that energy beings are neither male or female, and they can be either. So that's one of those questions, again, that can be a weird answer. Okay, let's see. Some of the questions that need to be, and yes, it takes a long time. If you're doing this, you're looking at least an hour. Sometimes sessions can go on for several hours depending on what you're trying to do. Sometimes only a few minutes. If you're trying to contact a loved one, it may be easier to say, you know, like, okay, you know, are you okay? Do you need help? There are certain questions that you can get yes or no answers to that are really fast. And you can plan on doing a longer session after you've done a few smaller, not quite so difficult ones. Trying to spell out things takes a long time, and it's very tedious, but it can be very rewarding with the answers that you get. Okay, is there a specific message that you want us to know? No. Can I ask, are you okay? No. Do you need help crossing over? Okay, so that's something that I need to take care of. I will have to figure out what the whole entire name is. So basically you've seen how this works. So you've done your session, you've asked your few questions. You may have gotten frustrated because you weren't getting, it wasn't working the way you wanted it to. You might need to clear it and program it again. I mean, that can happen occasionally, especially after you've used it once. Now, I've never used this particular one, so we may not be meshing quite as well as it can be, or the person could be concerned about something they did, which is why they haven't crossed over. I crossed over a lot of people, so that could be why this person is a little bit iffy about telling me what their name is. You need to close the session. So I'm going to close the session now. Say it out loud. I need you to say goodbye, but I will get back to helping you. But right now, I need you to say goodbye. Can you say goodbye? Okay, so he is circling the word goodbye, and you will notice that he or she, this is a huge goodbye. Okay, and when they're done, they will go back to center so that you know they're finished saying goodbye. Now, you didn't see my hand going like this, trying to make it spin that fast. That was its own. And when it's that big, the pull is unbelievable. So we've closed the session. I've said goodbye. They've said goodbye. Now you need to, I would like to thank my angels, guides, friends, and elementals for helping, guiding, and protecting me today in this session. Go if you must, stay if you will, farewell, and blessed be. And your session is done. If you want, you can clear this now, or you can clear it again at the beginning of your next session. Some people do it every single time. For the most part, I do. So that's kind of how a session is done. You need to go in with your questions kind of like, okay, I've never done this before. I want to make sure, whoops, I dropped that on the floor. I want to make sure that I've, write down a small list of questions, because once you get into it, it's really easy to get distracted and forget. As soon as I turn this off, I am going to go in and I'm going to see if I can figure out who this is, what kind of help he needs. I can cross him over without actually knowing what his name is or her name. I get a feeling it's a male energy, but everybody, your greater self, which is pure energy, doesn't have a body. It's not male or female. It encompasses everything. And if you believe in reincarnation and having been here a bunch of different times, you have been male and female and everything in between. So that's one of those kind of questions that's a little iffy, and I don't mean to offend anybody out there that identifies as a specific thing, because that is a physical body thing, has nothing to do with the energy body. I'm not being disrespectful. It's just it's very weird when it comes to breaking that down. I mean, if we have trouble as human beings dealing with it, throw into the mix energy beings that have lived for thousands and thousands of years. It gets all crazy. So that's it. Hopefully I was clear enough that you can do this safely. Never forget to clear and draw down the light, ever. If something goes wrong, let's say you've connected something bad like we did back in the 70s, and it's really horrible or scary or whatever, and you panic. The first thing that a lot of people want to do is to fight back or fight it or send it to hell or call a priest and throw friggin' holy water at it like it's a vampire of some kind. No. Go to center your heart. You're already connected to that energy because you spent at the beginning all that time connecting to it. It is still happening because you're in that sacred space. You breathe in that sacred energy, see that central sun, see the energy from earth and central sun coming together from source together, and just and fill the space around you. The reason that this works is because the energy is so high. If there is something negative, think of throwing pebbles into the water. And when you throw a big stone into the water, you get big ripples going out at a certain speed or frequency or vibration. When you have a lower energy or a smaller pebble and you throw it in the water, it has a different form of ripples coming out. They're slower, they're smaller. So when you have source energy vibrating like this, and you have a negative energy that's trying to scare you and bring you down, and it's moving very slowly, when the two mix, the slower energy can't handle being within that energy. And what it does is it speeds up its energy and changes it from the lower energy to a higher energy, back into source energy. A lot of people use the word it dissipates or transforms it back into the original energy. There's only one energy, different vibrations of that energy. So this is how that can happen. So when you panic and you're really scared, your energy is low and slow, working out of the ego part of the brain, which is like the caveman brain, like fight or flight, like, you know, run away or fight. And most people, when they get scared, they want to fight, when what they really should do is send out a big old Care Bear stare and change the energy that's around them. And if you are scared, what it's doing is it's drawing your high energy down so that it can feed from it. So when those scary things happen, and they do, if you're using dowsing or Ouija boards or whatever, if you come across a negative energy, it wants to be fed, it wants to survive, it wants all of the same things that we want, and it will try and feed off of you. If you leave portals and doorways open, if it can't feed off of you, it will go around and feed off of whoever happens to walk in, which is why you need to close the session, you need to say goodbye, you need to thank your angels. Like, that's why that part is important, is because you need to close that down. So when a negative energy out there realizes that there's something going on where it can feed, it's like a big old beacon, you know, hello, buffet over here. You really do need to close it, and that is why. So hopefully this is actually watchable. I will find out in a few minutes. That's sort of the quick version. If you have questions, of course, ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to the paranormal and keeping yourself safe. And if you don't know something, pretending that you do is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. Talking to your mom, obviously, not a dangerous thing to do. Talking to your uncle, your grandmother, you know, whoever who has passed, a high school friend, those people aren't dangerous. But when you've opened a doorway, you can't control who's coming through unless you have sacred space and all of those things. And when you do put that light out there, and you've got your space, and this, you could work for anything, for clearing a room, for like, it works for everything, which is why I put it out there all the time. And I tell people, I can't tell you how important this is, because I've gone through some of the bad stuff, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. So when you've got that energy, angels relatives, all of